Hello, I'm Fearne Cotton and this is my happiness project for Pretty Upfront. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, I am super excited today as I'm meeting up with my great friend, Davina McCall, and we're going to chat all about parenting and motherhood and how happiness fits into that. So I guess the aim of it is for us to give any honest advice that we have and also to remind all of us that we are doing a good enough job.
Mother in the world.
Do you know what's quite funny is I just it makes me go like a little girl. I get so excited when I see you.
I wanted to do this with you because you're someone, as a working mum, I massively look up to, and you've been a real role model for me. I call Davina all the time. Davina, I need help. This is the sort of thing I do. So I'm just basically doing that bit in real life today, which is a treat for me. Have you always wanted to be a mum? Is it a sort of a longing you've had?
I think because I had a colourful childhood and a difficult relationship with my mum.
Yeah.
That actually this concept of becoming a mum myself was the thing that I felt was going to heal me, and I'd be able to love a child in the way that I couldn't get the love myself. I wanted to give someone what I didn't get. The reality of having a baby, and I thought I'd be a natural earth mother and I'd be absolutely brilliant at it. And I actually found the first 2 weeks of my first baby so exhausting.
Yeah.
And I just thought that I'd take to it like a duck to water, but Holly was a bit of a tetchy feeder and I was up all night and I was exhausted and tired. And I remember phoning up the midwife going, I thought I'd be an earth mother. I'm really struggling, I'm so tired. And I think that shock of not being the perfect mother and brilliant at everything was big.
What's your coping mechanism in that sort of situation?
All you can do is put one foot in front of the other, do the best you can. And I think the most important thing that I've tried to do for myself is realise that I am not perfect.
Who is?
And that nobody is perfect. This kind of perfectionism in us, and I think women probably are worse at it than
Definitely.
men. We beat ourselves up so much for doing it wrong. You know, I always say to new young mums, well, what do you think? What do you think that means when your baby's crying like that?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know your baby. You know what's right for you. And your baby's not like my baby, so...
And everyone's going to be different. I think this is one of the hardest things when you're a new mum especially, is drowning out the noise of all other parenting around you, because you're constantly trying to compare yourself to, oh my God, their baby sleeps through the night before mine or whatever. And that's horrific.
Yeah. First step to where we beat ourselves up is weight loss. Just please come back normally. Don't do the
rush
waist
it.
training at 8 weeks, you know. And there are some people that snap back naturally. I was not one of those, and I didn't lose Chester's, my last one's weight, for 2.5 years.
Well, I had the same with with Rex. It took me definitely over a year to get anywhere near where I was before, but I genuinely wasn't in a rush because I was so amazed that I could breastfeed. I just was like, there's milk coming out of these things. It was amazing, and I was eating like unbelievable amounts.
When I have a baby, my feet have a baby, my arms have my wrists have babies.
Yeah.
I didn't see a bone in my hand for the entire pregnancy. I was just
No rings, no
Nothing.
high shoes,
nothing.
impossible. I was like, I was
Even
Rex.
my
Yeah.
Crocs were tight. So that's an important thing, I think, to say, that we don't all bounce back, and it's okay not to, and take your time and do it slowly.
There's so many different routes you can take. Like you say, you can demand feed, you can let them cry it out, whatever it is. But you know when your kids are right and when they're not. So you can do all these different theories, but actually you are the barometer of knowing if they're okay or not, and you have to trust that, and that's really hard, I think, sometimes.
I phoned up a really good friend of mine from school who, like me to you, was having babies a bit before me. And I called her up and I said, I'm pregnant. You've got 2 great kids. Give me what's the one golden rule for child rearing, for toddlers, for babies? and she said, love and boundaries. And I was like, and she went, no, that is literally it. And I said, what do you mean? I get unconditional love, cuddles, affection, warmth, connection. I get that. But what do you mean by boundaries? And boundaries is that one thing that sometimes I make a boundary and I think, God, why did I make that boundary? That boundary where you say, if you do that one more time, we're going to leave this absolutely fantastic blinding party, and you're going to take them. And just like Nemo with the boat, they do it again, and you go, right, we're leaving. And you think, why
I don't
did
want
I
to leave.
say that? This is
a good party.
But you only have to do that a couple of times. If you put down a boundary, you've got to make sure that you can follow it through.
Stick to it.
And when you put down the boundary and they do step over it and you do follow it through, you only do that twice in their life and they never step over the boundary again, because they're like, oh, I know that mummy does what she says even when it's leaving
Absolutely.
an amazing party.
And it can be hard to do.
That was a great tip.
Because I have trouble with that with my 3-year-old, who is big time Nemo, pushes all the boundaries and loves to do it. Like, enjoys looking me in the eye whilst touching the boat and smiling. Like, it's actually terrifying. And you're right, you do have to stick to your word, otherwise it's meaningless and they're just going to keep on doing it. But for you, what do you think has worked with being a working mum, and how have you stayed sane in that really tricky terrain?
I guess I think my children are proud of me, not because I'm a TV presenter, but they can see that I'm juggling balls sometimes and that it's difficult, and they're more understanding of me, I think. And it is really difficult, but I think there is a solidarity of women. Like, all working mothers understand how other working mothers feel, and sometimes you love your job and sometimes you do it out of necessity, and sometimes you feel really, really guilty, but we all understand. Cock-ups. I've made a few. So I think one really funny one was I took Chester into Tilly's class when she was in reception. He'd just been born, and you know that first take your baby to school day, I was really proud, sort of in the car seat and like that, thanks very much. And I get back to the car and I shut the door and the teacher comes running out with Chester.
Forgot the baby.
I forgot the baby. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean, literally, I was about to start the car.
You'd forgotten?
He was quite new, I just wasn't used to Chester.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's quite bad.
One funny one that doesn't haunt me in any way, apart from it's quite hilarious, is when I think I first started taking Rex swimming. I didn't know the difference between a swimming nappy, a normal nappy, whatever. So there's my kid in the pool with an inflated nappy, literally this big.
Oh, he didn't poo.
No, he had a normal nappy on, not a swimming one.
But he was drowning. It was pulling him down, the weight of the water.
He didn't drown, but it all kind of then, all the sort of fillings started coming out in the pool. So sort of loads of foam behind him and stuff. I'm sort of scooping it up and trying to put it back in the nappy, and I mean, awful, like horrendous.
That's really funny.
So bad.
Oh, but fun, that's
We've all done it, haven't we?
That's really sweet.
We've all done it.
We all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
And that's why they put rubbers on the end of pencils.
Exactly. Oh, I like that. Love that one. One thing I'm desperate to talk to you about is something I know that we're both passionate about. And again, each to their own, horses for courses, whatever. Your birth.
Oh, well, where do I start?
I know.
I mean, I'm a massive promoter of have the birth you want.
Yeah.
The fact is, of course it hurts. It's a really intense experience giving birth.
I've had two experiences, very, very different experiences. So with Rex, I had an epidural, and I hadn't done any reading up on giving birth. I thought, oh, I'm pregnant, brilliant, how am I going to look after the baby? The bit in between of having it, I hadn't thought about. So I had no faith in the fact that I could withstand any pain or whatever. So I tried, and then I was like, okay,
it's
epidural
intense.
time.
Yeah.
And I still, again, like you said, had
Great
this
birth.
a magical experience, and it was beautiful. And then with Honey, I put the time and the energy into believing that it could happen and I would enjoy it, and that was my experience. And I was roaring like some sort of wild animal at times. I was on all fours.
Guttural. After I had the baby, I'd want to go and do a Lion King, like in the garden, naked with the baby.
Yeah.
Just go, literally, because it was such a raw, instinctive, womanly feeling.
So, our top 5 tips, Davina.
I'd say the first one's got to be love and boundaries.
Yeah.
So by that I mean love your baby, and if you make a boundary and you lay down a law, then if your kid steps over that, I'm afraid you've got to reinforce it.
I think my first one would be, and I say this because I want to take my own advice as well, is not to beat ourselves up as mums and not to worry about mistakes we're making, because it's pointless, and it is definitely going to happen that something, you know, that you think is wrong is going to happen. So just be kind to yourself.
You're human.
You're human.
Okay, my next one is follow your instincts, because time and time again I hear of mums that don't do something that they really felt that they should have done because somebody said, oh no, don't do it like this, don't do it like that. You know your baby.
Yes.
You feel your baby, even more than a doctor would. You instinctively know what to do, so listen to that and don't let anybody tell you you're wrong. If you really feel something or you're worried, go to the doctor. Don't let them fob you off.
Absolutely. My next one is that very important thing we've been talking about, sisterhood. And how, I mean, we are the sisterhood sat here right now. Whatever your friendship circle is, your best mates, could be your mum, your auntie, your nan, whatever. Talk to people and you're going to feel so much better. When I think when you impart that information and share your stories, instantly that stress is going to dissipate and you're just going to feel so much better. I love that
shared.
It's a problem halved.
So true though, isn't it?
So true. And then one last nugget, what's it to be?
Somebody gave me this piece of advice when I was shouty mum.
Yeah.
So in the mornings it was always a bit frantic. And I'd end up kind of going, will you please go and get it? I've got to get the toast ready. Darling, can you, where are the car keys? I would just be, the level would go up a notch. And Matthew would always be going, can you just chill? And actually a friend of mine gave me a golden nugget, which was set the alarm for 20 minutes earlier. It was really that simple.
Yeah. And
I started waking up at 6:30 instead of 10 to 7. It felt brutal at the beginning, but I haven't shouted. That's not entirely true. But mostly it's a calm morning.
Yeah.
Because just that extra 20 minutes of me being able to kind of make sure that the keys are in the right place, maybe put the bags in the car before, all of that stuff just is sorted.
I hate rushing. Being a mum is everything. It's tough, it's beautiful, it's hard, it's harrowing at times, it's humbling, it's euphoric, it's sort of the extreme of everything. And I think maybe if you just accept all of it with open arms, you'll be all right, I guess.
It's all good and it's so worthwhile.
So worthwhile.
Brings so much joy.
It does, it really does. Well, thank you so much for being so wonderful and honest and gorgeous.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found that useful, helpful in some way. We had a lot of fun talking anyway. So nice.
I felt bad having that much fun.
It was brilliant fun. If you haven't already subscribed, please do to watch more of my films, and don't forget to check out Pretty Upfront's Instagram, Twitter and Facebook for more lovely things. I'll see you soon.